Hello, I am WD, the developer of Starcatcher, and this will be a gameplay tutorial on the mod, going through its different features, how to do different things, and just kind of a general guide of how to use the mod. First thing is that Starcatcher does not work with the vanilla rod, it only works with the specific Starcatcher rod. This is for compatibility with other mods and whatnot. To make one, you just need 4 string, 4 iron, a wool, and some wood planks. So first thing, you make the hook. Hook is made like so, and you get an iron hook. And then you make the twine, so just like that, stick in the middle, surrounded by string, you make the twine. And then you make the bobber, which is with the wool in the center, planks around, and 2 sticks. And there you go, you have the bobber. Now you have the hook, bobber, and twine. You make the rod like this, just in this formation, and there you go. I recommend you use a mod like J or Emmy, which allows you to see every recipe. So for that, you can just click on any of the items and it will show you how you can craft it. You can see you can also craft the Starcatcher's rod using a fishing rod from vanilla as a base, for example. It will not give you any buffs or anything special though. All right, so once you have the Starcatcher rod, you just need to right click and it will throw the bobber into the water. Something to notice is that I am on version 2.3.9 of NeoForge. The mod is still in development, so there are some features that will be added later. Some of the things I show here might not be exactly the same. So once the bobber goes underwater like that, you can right click and it will pop you up the minigame. The minigame only starts once you press the first time. In future versions, in this version it only lasts like 5 seconds. But it's already something that I developed for next version. So your objective right now is to press, you can also press right click or left click, but you can also press space. And you need to press when the reel, I guess you can call it, the thing is on top of the sweet spots. Now, each fish has different sweet spots. Each fish has different modifiers. Fishes are found in different locations. So you will need to explore the world to find all the fishes. So you simply need to click until the fish goes all the way out of the water. If you miss, this is once again based on fish, every fish is different, but as a general base, if you miss, fish goes down a bit, if you hit, fish goes up a bit. Now here is the extra thing that can happen. You can get a treasure. So if you see this bar on the left side, that means that you have triggered a treasure. That can happen just randomly as you're fishing, or you can have modifiers to forcefully trigger a treasure. Now, to get the treasure, you just need to also click on the yellow spots, and you can see here the treasure bar on the left side goes up. So you need to balance getting the fish to not go all the way up if you're trying to get the treasure, because that will finish the minigame. So you need to balance not losing the fish, not finishing the fish, and getting all the yellow sweet spots to get the treasure all the way up. Now, the treasures for specifically this version I'm recording on are all the vanilla treasures, and some fishes will specifically have templates which are for customization and for changing the appearance of your rod, changing the appearance of your bobber, stuff like that. But in general, most fishes will just be a vanilla treasure. So that could be the vanilla fishing rod, which is kind of useless, but it can be stuff like the Nautilus shell, I believe the enchanted books, for example. So anything from the vanilla treasure pool, if you're playing with mods that add stuff to the vanilla fishing treasure pool, those will also be available here in the treasure. All right, and there you go. Once you get to the top, you can see I got the fish and I got the treasure that I was fishing. And you can see we have a pop-up on the top right saying that I've obtained a new fish. Now, once you open the world, you will have the Starcatcher's guide. This will be a very handy companion because if you click on it, it will open the UI and you can see every fish in the mod. You can see here we have just got this fish, which is in the area. And if you just click on it, you will see that it takes you to the page of that fish, which can be found in the overworld, in lakes. So lakes would be surface biomes besides rivers and oceans. You might be thinking, well, I was just fishing in a river, but technically this was not a river wherever I was fishing. So if we just would be looking here at the biome, this would actually be a plains, and whatever the bobber was. So the biome check is where the bobber is. It was also a plain, so it didn't count as a river. So it's not technically a river, so it counts as a lake. And then the elevation for the surface. If you look at the page here, this will be a list of all the restrictions for that fish. Then if it has this icon here, This is basically going to be the blacklist. So if, for example, it's on every dimension besides one single dimension, it would have also the icon here saying which dimension is blacklisted. So the same thing for the biomes. It shows here the list of blacklisted biomes, which is all the oceans, the mushroom fields, and the rivers. So basically just the lakes remain. On top of the restrictions, you also have the information about the fish. So if you hover, you can see the fish description. If you press shift for Starcatcher fishes specifically, they will have a small description. This one here says a small devious fish said to often mispronounce words. You can also hover the caught, which will show you how many you've caught, and it will show you the fish statistics. So this one you can see the first catch was on May 20th at 1:26 p.m. You have the fastest catch, so how long you took. We took 2 minutes to catch that fish, and we have the size and weight in the top percentile. Now, each fish, when it's fished, it has a number rolled from 0 to 100, which is the top percentile. And the lower the number, the better the fish is. So, for example, top 0% fish will be the best fish possible in terms of size and weight. So that is the entry page for the fish. Now, let's go look also at the rest of the book. So if you hover the fishes on the index here, you can see different things about them. So this one here shows, because we've already caught it, and you can see the dimension, biome, and elevation are both, or all of them are correct for the place we're at. Some of them, for example, this one here requires a specific weather, which is not correct right now. If we click, we're going to go to that entry, or to that entry, and you can see here the weather needs to be raining, which is not accurate to what's going on right now. Therefore, you cannot fish this fish currently. And we're going to go through the rest of the guidebook, which is very important. So, as you can see, you can click on any of them to go to the entry related to that fish. There's also these two icons. So this one here, for example, can be caught in a bucket when using one as a bait. We'll look at baits and modifiers and attachments for the rod later. And also it can be caught alive when using an almighty worm as a bait. So a lot of fishes, specifically most of the Starcatcher fishes, can be both bucketed and caught as an entity. That's what it means to be caught alive. So if you want to, for example, make an aquarium, you want to catch the fish in the bucket to then be able to put it in your aquarium. So that's important to know. If you're looking for a specific fish and trying to catch it in a bucket and it cannot be bucketed, obviously you're not going to be able to do that. On the guide, there's also arrows here to go through the entries. You can see here which page you are at. So there's 54 pages total, so 54 double pages, because this is one single page, so to say. So that's 108 entries total. And yep, you can just scroll back and forth to see it. There's different rarities: common, uncommon, rare, epic, legendary. Very good. Now, there's also golden fishes. So golden fishes by default have a 1% chance of being caught. Every time you catch a fish, there's a 1% chance that that fish will be golden. Golden fishes are once per player only, so you can only catch one golden fish of that fish type. So you can catch one of each fish available per player. So it's not per server. It's you specifically can only catch one golden fish of each fish. So the full completionist of Starcatcher will be getting every golden fish possible of the mod, but that's I don't know if anyone will ever do that. Regardless, let's go ahead and look now at the help section of Starcatcher. So if you just simply click to the next page, you will start going through the section of help over here, which you have several different entries. You can also click here to go to the index again, and you can click on these manually. So let's start on the basics. This will just tell you, you need to click the sweet spots, you reel when it shows the thing, blah, blah, blah. Then you have the entries for the sweet spots. This will be expanded for the next version, most likely. So if you're watching this in the future, hello from the future, hope everything is good. And also there will probably be a second page over here with more sweet spots. Now, then we have the treasures, which I already went through. We have the upgrades, which we're going to go in a second. We have the tackle boxes, which we'll also see in a second. Then we have hooks, bobbers, and baits. We have cosmetics and tackle skins, which are kind of connected because you need tackles. You need the templates to get the cosmetics. And then you have tournaments, which we'll see very later on. And we have messages in a bottle. We have selling bin, and we have the aquariums. And the book display and the book signing. last but not least, we have the trophies and the secrets. All right, so we have a lot of features to go through. Let's start by looking at the tackle box, which is probably the most important item for Starcatcher besides the actual rod itself. Now, to get the tackle box, you can, let me look at it here. So there's different colors of the tackle box. You craft it with 3 copper, 2 chains, and 3 iron, and you get a tackle box. Now, the tackle box is a really important item and very useful item because you can put it on the ground and you can put your fish inside. Every fish that you put inside will go to this dedicated fish spot over here, which is an infinite fish storage. So if you have a lot of fishes, you can just put them all in the tackle box. They will all go and stack up on this infinite fish spot. So if you're fishing, put all your fishes in here, and then you can just mine the tackle box and take it back home with you. And it's basically a shulker box, but only for fishes. You can also put fish-related items in these slots. So these slots over here are for stuff like baits, hooks, bobbers. So most things that are fish-related, Starcatcher fish-related, will go in these slots, with the fish specifically going in the infinite fish stack. Okay, now there's also the fishing rod slot over here, which is really important because that's where you put your fishing rod to be able to modify the things it has. So if you hover the fishing rod, you can see here it has the bobber and the hook we put initially when we crafted it. So you can take them out if you want, but then obviously you cannot fish, right? Now we have a rod without the bobber, so it says that it won't work without a hook and a bobber. So we're going to put that back, but you can also put your baits in here. Now let's go ahead and get ourselves some baits. So let's get some worms, for example. So you just get your worms, and then you can put your worms into the worm slot or the bait slot, and then you can fish with worms. Now, each bait will have different things. We can over here look at all the baits that exist in the mod. If you're playing this on a mod pack, there might be extra baits from other mods that are made compatible and whatnot. This is just base Starcatcher. You can see here we have the worms, for example. We have the gunpowder bait, cherry bait, lush bait, blah, blah, blah. If you go into the book and you go here in the hooks, bobbers, and baits, you can also see all of the baits in here, and you can just scroll through to be able to see all of them. You can also use the scroll wheel to scroll through. Same thing with the hooks and bobbers. Okay, so if you hover the item, you will see they have a little fishing modifier. So items that have fishing modifiers will show that little description. So this one, for example, the basic worm decreases lure time, the almighty worm decreases lure time, and if available, it will catch a live fish instead. So we will fish up the entity. And then we have a seeking worm, which is an undiscovered fish is more likely to bite. We have different baits. All right, so you might be thinking, well, what's the point of using, for example, the legendary bait if it just decreases lure time just like the other ones? Well, some fishes will prefer specific baits, and that will not be shown here because it's fish dependent. So if you go back to the index, and we can go here for a random legendary fish like this one here, you can see it prefers legendary bait. So when you're using legendary bait on this fish, it has a 50 extra chance. This is not 50%, this is 50 chance. Each fish has a chance. All of those chances are summed up together, then it rolls a number, and then whichever fish rolled that number, you can think of it like a lottery where every fish gets a number, and then you pick a number randomly. Whichever fish got assigned that number gets to be the one that you're fishing up. And so using the correct bait for specific fishes will add extra chance of that fish. Very good. So that's how the baits work. Now let's go ahead and, for example, get some almighty bait, almighty worm bait. And we're going to put that in our rod. Oops. We're going to put that in our rod. And then we're going to fish. Let's also put it back today because I don't want to be attacked by creepers again. And now that we're using the almighty bait, you can also hover the rod, and you can see here all the modifiers that are active on the rod, including the ones from the items inside the rod, will show over here. And we can now try to fish up this fish by just getting the sweet spots. You can see this fish specifically has a tiny sweet spot instead of just being 2 big ones, because this is a higher difficulty fish. Still very basic because it's just in the river or in the lake. And you can see here we fished the actual entity. And we have a little fish over here swimming with us. Now, if you take a bucket, oops. If you take a bucket, you will be able to also pick up this fish. So a water bucket, and you can go and click on it, and you'll be able to bucket it up. And you can see now we have a bucket of silver veil perch. you can also see the size and weight of that fish that you have bucketed. You can also use a bucket as a bait. So if we just put the bucket here as a bait, you can also do that, and that will also give you it will also give you the bucketed version of the fish, just like fishing the entity and then bucking it up. It's going to be the same thing. Now let's see if we can pick up a little fish over here. There you go. And this one here, for example, has vanishing sweet spots. So they only show up for a little bit, and then you need to kind of remember where they are. So green sweet spots that vanish, they just vanish, and you need to be paying attention to where they are. And there you go. And you can see here we got the bucket of elder scale. And it also shows the size and weight. If you hold shift, it will show you the top percentile as well. So this is the 43%, which is very average. This one here is a 35, which is slightly better. Remember that the lower the number, the better the fish is. The size and weight is specific per fish as well. So you can see here, even though this one is not so good, it's 1.71 meters. This one here is only 30 centimeters because the fish by itself is just smaller on average. So each fish has its own size and weight values that it goes through. All right, very good. So that covers the baits and bucketing fishes and whatnot. Obviously, you can just then place it back down, and there you go. You have your fish over here, and you can just pick it back up if you want. And yeah, that's the bucketed fishes. Now, let's go look at the hooks and bobbers. So let's just search here for hooks. And you can see here we have all the different hooks. Each hook has a different modifier. So you can see here the amethyst hook allows for lava fishing, for example. The shiny hook is successfully hitting 3 sweet spots in a row will summon a treasure chest, which is really helpful if you're farming for treasures. You can then just use this hook to get more treasures, right? We have the gold hook, we have mossy, so all these hooks do different things. I recommend you look through all the hooks and see which hook will help you for the specific circumstance you're in. For example, if you're trying to get a harder fish, you might want to use the stone hook, which prevents the fish from swimming away for a short period after the hit. So this basically prevents the fish from going down on the minigame after you hit a sweet spot. So this is really helpful when you're trying to get a very hard fish that like goes down really quickly, for example. You can also have, for example, the frozen hook, which prevents your handle from fizzing up. This is important for ice fishes, which have the freezing mechanic, which we'll look at later. And then the same thing for the bobbers. You want to use a bobber adequate to the situation. If you're watching this in the future, there will be more bobbers. For example, the clear bobber here, vanishing sweet spots will take longer to vanish. This is helpful for the fish. I was showing previously which vanishes the sweet spots. If you're using the clear bobber, you can see it's going to be quite different. We can showcase that right now. So let's do the Starcatcher command. This is only for admins if you have operator on the server, but you can do Starcatcher simulate fish, and we can try here the elder scale. So this is the one that had the vanishing sweet spots, as you can see, and that's how quick they vanish. So pretty quick on vanishing. However, if we put the clear bobber over here and we try that again, you will see that they take a lot longer to vanish, as you can see, which is pretty good. So that might help you if you're struggling with a fish that is using the vanishing sweet spots. All right, so that covers the hooks, bobbers, and baits. Once again, you need to use the tackle box here to change the attachments. Very good. Let's go over to the next section. All right, we have covered the treasures, the sweet spots, the tackle box and rod attachments, the hooks, bobbers, and baits. Let's go over to the upgrades. So, specifically, if you're trying to fish in the lava, your bobber will not work. You need to use either an amethyst hook, which is this one over here, which you can craft like so, using the iron hook as a default for every hook, and then you do something else for the items. So, for example, here, you can see all of that. I'm going to go through all the recipes of the mod at the end of the video. So if you are not using ME or J and you want to see a specific recipe, I really recommend you use ME or J first of all. But if you're not, you can skip to the end of the video where I go through every recipe of the mod. So if you want to fish on the lava, you need to use the amethyst hook, or you need to upgrade your rod for netherite. Now, just like vanilla, to upgrade your rod to netherite, you just need to get a smithing template of netherite upgrade and then a netherite ingot. So exactly the same as vanilla. And then you just put your rod with your ingot and your smithing upgrade, and there you go. your rod now says that it's netherite upgraded. Now, the visual of the rod will not change because the visuals are controlled through the cosmetics. So this just allows your rod to allow for lava fishing, as you can see right there, allows for lava fishing. If you're watching this in the future, the netherite upgraded might also add different buffs, which I haven't decided yet on how I want to balance, but it might, for example, decrease lure time or something like that. But just know that the netherite upgrade is not specifically for lava fishing. All of this is data driven. If you're playing this on a mouth pack, it might do different things, whatever it may be. So now that we have our netherite upgraded rod, we can go ahead and fish on the lava. And that's how the netherite upgrading works. All right, let's go to the next topic, which will be the secrets. So if you go here to the section of the trophies and secrets, we're going to have the secrets. The secrets can be found just randomly. They have a lot of different restrictions, which are kind of secret, and I don't want to really reveal them. Just go ahead and fish in different places, and you will eventually find secrets. They have a lot of different restrictions, like you have to fish a legendary fish first, or you need to be fishing underground and have at least a rare fish caught before, or fishing in lava, stuff like that. So the secrets you fish as a bottle, and you can see over here, this is, for example, the scalding bottle, which is a secret that you find. Oops, let me put myself in survival, and then you can just right click to open it, and it gives you the secret note, which says over here, an old secret note, almost lost to time, holding nothing more than the thoughts of those probably not amongst us anymore. Very poetic, isn't it? And we have also a broken bottle, which you can just throw at your friends and damage them, I suppose. Anyways, you can then open the secret note and you can read it. This one, for example, is advertising the lava bottles. Buy my bottles, my bottles. They are lava proof. I promise they really are lava proof. TM. Oh, there's a double TM. I need to fix that. I am so tired of these scammers promising lava-proof bottles, as if anything could survive being submerged in lava. Want to see what I think of your stupid lava bottles? This letter is going right into this so-called lava-proof DM bottle, and straight to the nearest lava pool I can find. That will show them, Arnold the Skeptic. Now, this is obviously found in a lava pool, which is funny, because that's, that's the little funny haha. So a lot of the secret notes have a little bit of charm to them. If you find them, I recommend you read them because they are usually pretty funny. At least I think so, because I wrote them, so I think they're funny. But regardless, you find them, and then you can also recheck the notes that you found here on the secrets. All right, and that's the secret notes. Let's go on and move on to the trophies. Now the trophies, similarly to the secret notes, you get them based on some conditions, but the trophies you can actually see how to get them. So for example, this one here, you need to get a total of 25 common fishes to be able to unlock this trophy. As you catch fishes, you will be able to unlock different trophies. You can see, for example, here, you need to catch 500 total fishes and all 107 unique fishes that are in the mod, which is quite the task. So this is one of the better trophies. Now, if I go here and search for the trophy, you can see all of them here. You have the copper, the iron, the gold, the emerald, the diamond, and then the trophy of the older angler, which is the best trophy in the mod, which you get for getting all golden fishes. If you do this legitimately, I mean, good on you. I don't know if anyone will ever do that, but look at this beautiful 2-block tall trophy to show off your accomplishments to your friends. Very good. Now let's move on to the next feature of the mod, which will be the cosmetics over here. So when you're fishing, you might get templates. Now the templates can be obtained in different ways. So you can see, for example, the pearl template over here. You can duplicate every template, first of all, using the item of the template, just like vanilla. You put diamonds with the template, with the item, and you get 2 of them. Now each template has a different item. I'm just going through all of them so you can also see, but I'll also show this in the end of the video, like I said. And the way to get these templates are different for each template. So for example, here, the humble skin template, you get it from fishing, and you can see here you get it from fishing in the overworld, in rivers, on the surface, on a 1% chance. And so just 1% flat chance of getting the template when you're fishing in the overworld rivers in the surface. Each template is different. For example, here the Azure Crystal template is obtained as a treasure. So if you're looking at Emmy or J and you have the fish, then you have a second slot. This is the treasure slot, which means that if you're getting a treasure while fishing this fish specifically, it will give you this item as a treasure. So to get the azure skin, crystal skin template, you need to be fishing this legendary fish, getting a treasure, not losing the fish, and getting the treasure while getting the fish. So it's a really hard to get template, which signifies it's hard, very cool skin, which is this skin over here. So to get the skin, you simply need to combine it with the correct item. For this item, it's the Azure Crystal Back Minnow, which is the fish that gives you this template in the first place. So you just go to the smithing table over here, you put your rod, you put your template, and you put your fish, and there you go. It transforms into the corresponding skin. You can see it keeps the netherite upgraded. You can see it keeps the attachments it has inside. So everything is kept, and then you get a different skin to show off to your friends of how cool you are. Because you have this very extremely rare skin. Very good. It doesn't do anything. It's a cosmetic. However, mod packs might make it do something, but by default, the skins don't do anything. Very good. Let's go ahead and look at the next feature. So this will be both for the cosmetics of the template and also for the cosmetics of the tackle skin. So let's quickly also just go and take a look at the king, for example, the king template, which needs gold ingot. So if we quickly go over here and we put that over here, you can see the king is actually a tackle skin. So it's king tackle skin smithing template. So it gives you a tackle skin. It's not the actual skin of the item. So you can see now we have the tackle skin of the king with the Azure Crystal Rod skin. And there you go. Now, if you are using this, you can see the bobber changes model. So each tackle skin, not all of them, but most of them do change the bobber model. They can also change stuff like the sounds and whatnot. This one here, you might recognize where this little guy is from. If you don't, I suppose you'll recognize in a bit as we fish up a fish. So tackle skins are a little bit of a fun where you can just modify, and there's different models for the bobber to customize your fishing experience and show off to your friends. So once again, if we're, oh look, we got a message in the bottle that I was talking about earlier. So specifically for items like this that are supposed to be a really easy catch, so trash and stuff like that, you cannot lose. So even if you miss on purpose, it never goes down. So this is just a custom difficulty that a lot of different things have. Now, if we get the thing, you can see that you get a hee-hee-hee-haw because it's the king from Clash Royale. Extremely funny, at least I think so. And there you go, we got a different message here talking about some other stuff, which I'm not going to spoil. So go ahead and find it for yourself. And there you go, that is the tackle skins and the cosmetics here for the rods. Now we also have the cosmetics for the fishing hats. So if you go and search for shipwrecks, there is I believe it's a 20% chance on the treasure room of the shipping wreck to have a random fishing hat. So that's how you find them. Fishing hats might have different modifiers. For example, here the lime says that an ale-tempered friend might show up and it decreases lure time greatly. So for the hats, you just equip them on your head, and if they're equipped in your head, they act or they apply the modifiers that they have. So for example, here the light blue, an extra aqua sweet spot is added. Missing a sweet spot will cause your handle to freeze up for a short period and increases lure time. So this is a very risky one to use because it adds a completely extra sweet spot to the minigame. But if you miss it, it will freeze up. That is the cosmetics. We went over the rods, we went over the fishing hats. If you're watching this in the future, there might be extra cosmetics as well. If you're playing this with other mods like the I believe it's the artified relics or something that adds the angler hat. We also have built-in compatibility for that. I think it's called the angler's hat, for example, that also works with Starcatcher and whatnot. So there's a lot of compatibility with different mods and stuff like that. Now, let's go ahead and look at the messages here. So the letters and messages in a bottle. So we already looked at the messages in a bottle that are the secret notes, which are built in, but we also have player written messages. So if you are playing on a server, you can write your own message, throw it into the ocean, and then someone else will fish up that message and read it up. So you can see here we have letter, bottled letter, and then we have the message in a bottle, which is what the player fishes up in the message. So we start by making a letter. which you can see here you just craft with a paper, an ink sac, and a feather. Let me quickly grab one from creative. And you can see here you can write your own letters. So you can write hello. Beautiful. So you can then just close this message, and you can see here it's written. If you open it, it will be saved. And then you combine that with a bottle, a normal vanilla glass bottle. Oops, let me put myself in survival. And you can see here you get a bottled letter, which says a letter imprisoned in a bottle. The only thing left to do now is throw it into the ocean and let it start its journey. So you can throw this letter into the ocean. If you just throw it not into the ocean, it just drops itself again, so you don't lose it. But yeah, you just drop it into the ocean or into the water in general. And you can see here, it says your letter starts its journey. So it's no longer here at the bottom of the lake. It disappeared because it's now in the pool of messages in the bottle for other players to fish up. You cannot fish up your own messages, so I'm not going to be able to show you here what it looks like, but it just gives you this item over here, and then you can open it up and you get the message, which is the, eroded version of the letter, which looks mostly the same. That is the messages in a bottle system. Let's move over to the tournament system now. So the tournament system is specifically for multiplayer, but we can show how it works. This is being slightly reworked for next version already, and it's basically done. But I can still show you because the idea is the same. So you have a tournament, you can go here and you can rename the tournament to like WD's tourney or something. You can change the duration here with the scroll wheel and whatnot. And then people can also click here to sign up to the tournament, and then you click start tournament. Now this UI has been reworked and it looks a lot better. It's a lot cleaner, everything just works better. So for version 2.4, this is already cleaned up. I can quickly show you here what it looks like. So if you're watching this in the future, this is what it looks like probably. So it looks a lot cleaner, it works a lot better, less buggy. But regardless, that's how the tournament works. Oops. And then you just need to click start tournament. Once you have the tournament, you can see here on the left side, it shows the time remaining and the score. You can press tab to cycle through the different layouts basically. So just off, and you have the minimize and you have the maximize. So it shows here on the scoreboard the scores of the players, the top 3, and your own score. So that's how the tournaments work. They are slightly buggy on version 2.3, which is when I'm recording. For next version, they're a lot cleaned up and it works a lot better. So hopefully if you have friends to play this mod with, hopefully you can put up a tournament. Go ahead and share your scores on the Discord. I would love to see what you guys do with the tournament system, because as a developer, I can't play the tournament because I don't have anyone to play this with. But I hope people had fun. Let's go ahead and move to the aquariums next, or let's do the display first actually, because it's a bit simpler. So we have the book display and we have the book signing. So if you are in your guide and you go from the index, you go one page back, you go back to the cover, I guess you would call it. Also, little Easter egg, if you're watching this far, you can click on the compass, and also the compass is accurate. So if you look this way, you can see, or south is that way, and then if you are to the side, you can see south is that way. So the compass here, you can click on it to ding ding ding, and it's also accurate. A little bit of a fun system. There's a lot of little tiny UI things. If you guys figure it out and you discover them, let me know. I think it's really fun. I spent a lot of time doing tiny UI stuff like this that most people would probably never find out. Anyways, back to the signing the book. We have here the cover. You can see here, this book belongs to, and you can sign it. So this book belongs to WD, and then you click sign. It says, signing will lock in all your current catches. This book will no longer be updated with new catches after locking. This means that this is basically to be able to share your book to your friends and show them your catches, or to display it in a display block. Now, like it says, it will not be updated. So once you lock this in like this, you can see now when I open it, it automatically goes to the cover instead, which says that I locked it on May 20 at this time, and then you can see all the catches that I had at that time, including all the statistics and whatnot. And you can then, throw this book to your friends to show them, and it will also show over here that this book belongs to WD. Very good. So that's how the signing works. Once again, this is not updated. So once you sign the book will not be updated. I might change this in the future to have a slightly different system, so it's tied to your UID instead or something like that. But for the current system, how it works, and maybe for the future, it's locked in. You cannot update the changes, and that's how it works. Now, to display your guide, you can also use the display block over here. So the display block makes it so if you put your book, you can see here the book stays over there and has a little bit of a nice effect that it opens up when you get close and whatnot, similar to the enchanting table. And then you can click on it and it will show you the book that is over here. Now, if the book is locked, it will show you the locked catches of the fishes and whatnot. If the book is not locked, so you can also just put a normal book, a normal guide, I mean, and this will just be that owns person's guide. So it's just it's the same as you opening it yourself, but it's on a block, so it's a little bit better for decoration and whatnot. And that's how the display here for the guide works. But you can also use this to display fishes. So if you put a fish, you can see over here the fish is displayed. You can make it rotate like this just by clicking on the display, and it starts doing a little bit of a rotation. Now, the size and weight over here actually matter because the fish will be bigger depending on the size and the weight. So very cool little system that you can use to display your best catches. So this one, for example, here is top 26%, which is decently big, but a top 0% would be slightly bigger than this one. All right, very good. Let's go ahead and move to the next feature. All right, moving on to the next topic, we have the aquariums. Now, the aquariums are a multi-block that you can make aquariums with, and you can put your fish inside. So let's go ahead and grab an aquarium. You can craft them just with some glass panes in a circle like this. And so the aquarium, you just place it down, and there you go. It is a very cool multi-block that just auto connects together. Let me also grab some wood to use as a base. Perfect. So you just put in the aquariums and you can see they auto connect, and you can make whatever wild shape you imagine for the aquariums, and it just works. Now, you can also customize the aquariums by putting different items. So like, for example, seagrass you can put, and there you go. You have seagrass. You can put kelp, and you can make it as tall as you want. If you want a really tall kelp, if I can place that one, there you go. And you can make the kelp go all the way up. Perfect. Now, if you want to put a fish inside, you can either grab the bucketed fish, which I don't have. So let's just grab a fish directly from Creative over here. And you can just put the fish inside, and there you go. There is your little fish. Now, Starcatcher fishes that have a model are automatically being able to be put like this, and they move a lot slower, which looks a lot better for the aquariums. So if you put a vanilla, for example, a vanilla salmon, they can go inside because you can just, you yourself can just go inside, because this is, it's not a full block with collision, so you can just swim inside yourself. But the important part is if you put, for example, like a vanilla salmon, as you can see here, they just move way too fast because they're not, they're not made to be in such a tiny space. So it kind of looks weird because they are just so quickly, and I personally don't like how it looks. They also clip a little bit out of the block because that's just what they do in vanilla as well. So I would recommend you just use Starcatcher fishes because you can see they move a lot slower, they're a lot chiller, just kind of looks a lot better for the aquarium. But you can put even from other mods as well, because yeah, you can just put them inside and they act like normal entities because this is just a water block at the end of the day. So, but you can see here they just go like crazy wild, so I just don't think it looks good. Anyways, if you want to take the fish back out, if it's a fish from Starcatcher, when you hold the bucket, you can see they display. If you have a bucket in your hand, they will display on the block they're truly in, because they move around, but realistically they're still in that same block. For being able to pick up, so you need to click on the block that they have a fish, and there you go, you get the fish again. If it's an actual entity, you need to just go inside and jump in and click on the entity with needs to be a bucket of water from vanilla. There you go, you get the bucket of water, and then you just pick up the fish like normal, just like vanilla. So Starcatcher fishes that you put using the fake fish entity, they need to be obtained with a bucket by clicking on the block that you initially placed it in. And if it's another entity, you just need to go in and get it yourself. And that's the aquarium. You can also do a lot of cool little things. You can change the floor, for example, to stone and sand and whatnot. You can make a sand castle by using a a shovel on it. You make a little sandcastle. So you have some nice decorating options. In the future, this system might change as well to be more compatible with modded blocks and whatnot. Still figuring out how I want to do that. Now let's go ahead and move to the next feature, which I believe is the last feature we have left, which is the selling bin. Yeah, this is the last feature, then we're going to go through the configs and through all the recipes. So the selling bin is actually a different mod, but it is included in Starcatcher. You can see the mod ID here is WD selling bin because it's a separate mod with its own separate stuff. So you can use it by itself without Starcatcher. But it is included in Starcatcher, so we're going to quickly show it. So you craft a selling bin. It's crafted like this, and then you can place it down. And when you place the selling bin down, you can sell your fishes. So if we take here the drift fin, let's grab some drift fins. And you can see here, we can place them in, and we can click sell, and it will fill up the arrow, and then you get an emerald. So simple as that. If you hold shift, you can see that this drift fin over here is worth 0.25 emeralds, and the entire stack is worth 1.64 emerald blocks. But this is all from the selling bin mod. The only thing that happens is that Starcatcher has the selling bin mod included in the mod, and it has a built-in compatibility to be so you can sell the fishes. And that's how the selling bin works. If you're interested in customizing the selling bin or customizing anything in Starcatcher for that matter, there's another video for data pack tutorials for both for the selling bin and for Starcatcher data pack stuff. So just check the wiki and check the other video on my YouTube channel if you wish to look at that. All right, very good. Now we have one more thing to look at that I forgot actually because it's not in the book, but it's the clams. So you can get a clam when fishing in the beaches randomly, and if you place a clam on sand specifically, the clam will eventually open up and will give you a pearl. The pearl is used for selling because it's worth half an emerald, so you can make a little clam farm. If you fish a lot in the beaches, you get a lot of clams and then you put them down. But the pearl is also used for the for changing the color of the fisherman hat, so it's needed for that. So if you get a black hat but you really wanted the white hat or something, then it will be required to have the pearl to change the color. And it is also used for right here for the pearl smithing template. So to get the pearl smithing template, you need to also use the pearl as a material. So that's how you get a pearl. You put a clam on sand, and then eventually it opens up, and you can click on it to get the pearl. So just wait for it to open up. You can also place the clam on the aquarium. Forgot to mention that. Look at that. You have a little clam, and you can also place the conch on the aquarium. The conch doesn't have anything specific about it. It's just an extra decoration you can also put on the aquarium or on the ground if you want them to use them as a decoration for your beach. You can also use that. Once again, you get them from fishing in the beaches. You can see over here, biome beaches in the overworld in the surface. And that's how you get them. So let's go ahead and look through the configs. Now, if you're looking to customize the experience, Starcatcher has quite a few configs that you can look at. So if you just click here, escape, you go to mods, and then you go to Starcatcher. Here you can click on config, and this will open the config screen built in, so you don't need to be looking through the files. You have the client settings and the server settings. If you're not the server owner, the server settings are not going to be available. But if you click client settings, you can see here you have a lot of different settings. Just look through it. Here on the server, you have the exclamation mark particles on biting, for example. You have, the worms from bone mealing. I forgot to mention you get worms by bone mealing farmland. So that's a shame that I forgot to mention that when I was showing the worms. That's how you get worms. And then you also have adjustments for the difficulty. So if you think the minigame is a bit too hard, you can change the multiplier globally for everything. So for example, if you think that you're being punished too harshly for missing, you can change the global penalty multiplier here for missing to whatever you want. So for example, if we just make it 0, now it's impossible, or not, it's not impossible to lose, but you will not be punished for missing the sweet spots. So if we just go ahead and get a quick fish, you'll see that you will just not be punished if you miss the sweet spots. So if you're looking to customize your experience because you think the minigame is too hard, this once again needs to be on the server. So you need to talk to the owner or be the owner, and then you can customize this type of experience. So now if you press the if you miss, you can see the fish doesn't go down. It's going down just by the default vanishing, decaying rate is what we call it. But missing doesn't do anything. you can also change that, by the way. You can change here the decay. So the decay is the rate at which the fish decreases. So you can also change this to 0, and then it would be impossible to miss or to lose the minigame, for example. You also have the moving, so this is for the moving sweet spots, which I don't think we saw any of them. We have the vanishing, we have the HP multiplier, so if you think the fishes are too easy, you can just change the HP multiplier so the minigame takes more time, just globally, or you can make it less, so if you think the minigame lasts a bit too long for what you want, you can just change the HP multiplier to like 0.9, and then it would be 10% faster globally. You know, it would require 10% less score to finish the minigame, so to say. We have a lot of things like hide the entries until found, so if you don't like that the entries are hidden until you found all of them, you can just change that, and then there you go. Every single entry is shown, even if you have not caught it yet. If you are customizing stuff, I recommend you to look at the Starcatcher command. It has a lot of helpful stuff. For example, you can add different modifiers to your items, so you can try out different modifiers. We can award fishes, so for example, if you want to just see all the fishes without using that config, you can just award all the fishes, or if you want to award a specific fish with a specific size and weight and percentile and whatever, you can just keep going with the command, and it has a lot of settings. If you want, for example, to check how a fish would look if it's really big, for example, here you can quickly go to the you can do /Starcatcher. Let me also just make it daytime. We can do /Starcatcher, set data, and then here we can do like size. It doesn't matter, but the percentile is what controls the actual visual size. So if we make this a top 0% fish, you can see, and let's make it a common, you can see this will be a really long fish or a really big fish. And if we make this a top 100, this is going to be a tiny fish. So if we make this is big and this is small, you can see that's the difference. This is the biggest possible fish, and this is the smallest possible fish. And this also affects the fish entity size. So it's not just for the displaying, it's also on the actual fish entity size. So if we quickly take this off and just place them down, this is a creative mode only thing. You cannot do this in survival, you need to use the bucket. But in creative, you can just take the item to spawn the entity. You can see they are quite different size. Very good. If you want to change the sizes, so if you want to make it really insane how big the fish is, there's also a setting for that, which is the fish model max size and the fish model min size. So if you want to make the biggest fish possible be really big, you can just increase this number, and you can see now this fish is like huge. Look at the size of this. Look at the size of this guy. What the hell? So that's something you can do if you want to customize the experience and make some goofy stuff. Obviously, if you do this, you know, on the aquarium, it's not gonna fit too well. But that's up to you, I suppose. I'm not gonna stop you from doing that. So Starcatcher has a lot of configs, a lot of fun stuff that you can mess around with. Just look through all of them, see if anything interests you. You can also disable the give guide so the players don't get the guide when joining the world. If you're making a mod pack, this might be useful because you might not want the guide to be given right away, instead give it through a quest. And you can also just disable the fish minigame completely. If you're interested in Starcatcher for the fishes but not the minigame itself, you can just disable the minigame completely. And then if you do this, there will just not be a minigame. So if you just fish some item, it will give you the... It will just give you the fish right away. No minigame. So if that's something you're interested in, because you don't like Starcatcher's minigame, but you like the other features, feel free to disable the minigame if that's what you want. So you can see here I just get the item right away, which in this case was trash, but still skips the minigame. All right. So that is the configs. The last thing we have to look at is the recipes, and I believe that's everything done in the mod. So we're just going to quickly go through the recipes for those who don't use ME or J, and just go through all the items, I suppose, if there's anything that I missed. So we have the Starcatcher's rod. You make it with the Starcatcher's twine, the bobber, and the iron hook. Starcatcher's twine is made with string and the stick. The bobber is made with planks, a wool in the center, and the stick. It can be any wool and it can be any planks. Then we have the iron hook, which is 3 iron and an iron nugget. And that's the rod. Then we have this fish here is used for displaying, for example, the guide. If you haven't found the fish, it shows us this item. The unknown fish is used for some modifiers that hide the fish. We have the Starcatcher's guide, which is made with the book and the Starcatcher's rod. This does not consume the Starcatcher's rod, which means that you just get a guide for a book, basically. So don't be afraid of losing your rod, because it won't be lost. We have the fish radar, which cannot be crafted and cannot be found on this current version. In the next version, it will probably be have a way to be found. So I cannot tell you how that will be, because I'm still thinking of it. But the fish radar is something that might be reworked a bit. It basically just shows you which fishes are in that area. So it basically shows you the same menu as this one. And it shows you which fishes you haven't found yet. So it's not extremely useful, but I think it's a cool little gadget. I'm still thinking of how to implement it properly. Regardless, we have the Starcatcher swine we already saw. This is for the settings in the book. It's not used. Then we have the worm, which you can get from different... from bone milling the farmland. So the farmland being specifically this type of thing over here. So if you use bone meal on that, it will give you worms like that. And then there's a tiny chance that you get the other types of worms, like the almighty worm and whatnot. So the same thing for the almighty worm and the sicking worm, is just rarer to get. Then we have the dam worm, which is not obtainable. This is specifically for the development stuff. You can see it decreases the load time greatly, just so I get the fish right away when I'm developing stuff. Gunpowder bait, you make it with gunpowder and a bone meal. Just like every bait, you make it with bone meal and another item. So that's the cherry. Then we have the lush, which is moss block, moss carpet, mossy boot. Then we have the skulk, which is the skulk catalyst, or the skulk fish. They give different quantities depending on what you use. We have the dripstone from the dripstone block or the pointed dripstone. We have the murk water from the mangrove roots, the mangrove leaves, or the lily pad. Then we have the legendary fish, which is from a golden apple gives 4, an enchanted golden apple gives a stack, and the legendary fish gives 16. We have the meteorological bait, which ignores the fish daytime and weather restrictions. This is a very helpful bait, because that way you don't need to wait for it to be raining or thunderstorming or whatever. You make it with a heart of the sea and you get 34, or you make it with an epic fish and you get 8. Then we have the ladder, which we've seen is with paper, ink sac, and feather. We have the bottled ladder, that is just combining the ladder you got previously from the bottle. We have the message in a bottle that you get from fishing, from another player from fishing your your ladder. We have the broken bottle, which you get from opening up either of these stuff. Doesn't matter which one, they all give a broken bottle. We have the different secret bottles, which you get from different things. We have the waterlock satchel, which is, it's currently not implemented. Or it is implemented, but it's not obtainable, because this was the way the treasures used to work on previous versions, but right now it's not being used. We have the fish bones, which you get by eating star-caught fish. So just any star-caught fish that can be bucketed will also give you a fish bone. We have the pearl, which we've seen that clams placed on sand will slowly create pearls. We have the boot, which is just a trash item you get randomly. Mossy boot, same thing, but for the swamp. We have dried seaweed, just a random trash. Then we have all the fishes. Specifically, these are all the eels and crabs and shrimps and whatnot, which are not bucketable. So these are fishes that are just the item. There's no model for them yet. Then we have the star-caught buckets. So this is the item that you get when you fish using a bucket, or you put a fish entity into a bucket. It's only one single item. So if you want to get the bucket of something, you need to fish through normal gameplay. If you want to just summon the item or the entity in creative, you use the fish, you right click with the fish on the ground, like I've showed before. We have the cooked fish, which is just by cooking any of the Starcatcher bucketable fishes. So not these ones, for example, crabs and eels and whatever will not give you a Starcaught or a cooked fish. Then we have the trophies. You can see here the trophies are from different stuff. We have the stand made like that with a barrel, wood planks, and a book. We have the display from 3 slabs and a plank. We have the telescope, which is not implemented. This is a development stuff that it was an idea that I had and didn't really develop into anything else. We have the aquarium made with glass panes in that formation. We have the clam, which you get from fishing, conch, which you get from fishing. Then we have the tackle box, which is made like that. 3 copper, 3 iron, and 2 chains, with the center slot being the dye you want to make it the color of. So if you want to make any of the colored ones, you just put a dye in. We have the fisherman's hat, which are found rarely inside of shipwrecks chests. Like I've mentioned, I think it's a 20% chance on the treasure chest of the shipwreck. We have the bobber, which we've seen. And then we have the steady bobber over here. So the steady bobber, or all the bobbers and gooks, they use on the center the base one. So this one uses the base bobber, and then you put 3 coppers and 1 ingots. You can see the clear one is the same but with glass. Then we have the aqua bobber, which is with diamonds and the heart of the sea. This is a really powerful bobber that is really good because it adds an extra sweet spot and an extra aqua sweet spot. So fishes that are really hard, you can just basically guarantee that you have at least one sweet spot that you already know how it works. You know it's reliable to hit, which will make the minigame a lot easier. We have the vanilla flavored bobber, which restores the vanilla fishing loot. So instead of getting the fishes from Starcatcher, this will make it so you just fish the vanilla loot instead. So in case a mod adds vanilla or adds a specific item that you can only get through vanilla fishing, this basically just makes sure that that item can still be obtained in some way. We have the leafy bobber, which it spawns leaf sweet spots. So it's kind of like the aqua sweet spot, but the sweet spots show over time and they last a lot less, or a lot shorter, I guess. I don't know English. Either way, it's kind of a worse version of the aqua bobber in a way in terms of gameplay and how helpful it is. But you can see it's really easy to craft, so that's why. Then you have the slimy bobber, which prevents the fish from swimming away once by bouncing it back up. So if you were going to lose the minigame, the slimy bobber bounces the fish back up once, which is really helpful. Gives you a second life, basically. We have the iron hook, which is the default one you need to make. Then you have the amethyst hook for fishing in the lava. So you can either use the amethyst hook or the netherite upgrading. We have the shiny hook, which gives you the treasure chest when you hit 3 times, but it also hides the fish you're fishing, so you don't know which fish you're fishing. We have the gold hook, which increases the chance of catching a golden fish. Once again, golden fishes are a 1% chance to get. You can only get 1 golden fish per player. Then you have the mossy hook, which makes the minigame harder, but a perfect catch awards a treasure. A perfect catch is a minigame where you did not miss a single time. So if you didn't miss a sweet spot, missing means that not that you skipped it, but you just missed, so you failed on clicking on anything. So if you missed, then it's not a perfect catch. So if you didn't miss the sweet spots, you get a treasure as well. Then we have the stone hook, which prevents the fish from swimming away. Once again, it just prevents the fish from decreasing, from decaying. When you hit a sweet spot, we have the split hook, which gives you 2 fishes instead of 1. So pretty simple, made with chains. And then we have the heavy hook made with iron blocks, which slows down the moving sweet spots. So we didn't see any of them, but some fishes, the sweet spots are moving around, and this just makes them move slower. We have the vanilla flavored hook, which skips the minigame when used alongside the vanilla flavored bobber. So specifically, if you're just wanting to have the vanilla fishing pole, for some reason you want to have the Starcatcher rod, so you have the buffs of decreasing the time and whatever. You can use this combination of the vanilla flavored bobber and the vanilla flavored hook. So it's basically just kind of like vanilla fishing, but you have the buffs from Starcatcher, like the decreasing lure time. We have the copper hook, which increases the handle speed rotation made with a copper block, and then you have the variations of the copper. So this one increases the handle speed rotation, this one slightly decreases the speed rotation. Oh, they're not on order. Oh no, they are on order, I was just reading wrong. So copper increases, exposed copper slightly increases. You can see use an exposed copper block. Then we have the weathered copper, which slightly decreases, and then the oxidized, which decreases the handle speed rotation. So we have an entire spectrum of speed control, basically, with the copper hooks. Then we have the echoing hook, which guarantees that you get an undiscovered fish. So if you trust your skills and you don't need the helpful modifiers from any of the, like the stone hook or whatever, you can use the echoing hook. If you're going for all the fishes and discovering all the fishes, this will guarantee that you get a fish you haven't caught before. We have the frozen hook, which prevents your handle from fizzing up. I can quickly show you what that means, because I didn't show that. So if we do here Starcatcher, simulate fish, and we do like a frost gill chub, oops, you can see some fishes will have modifiers. This modifier, or this fish here, has the modifier that the thing around is frozen. This fish is caught in icy biomes, of course. So that means that if you miss, you can see here the handle will freeze up for a little bit before you can move again. So that's what it does. Very good. let's go through the remaining ones. We have the templates, which we've seen how to get them, but here's how to craft them. So the pearl is a pearl, or the pearl tackle is a pearl. We have the the kimba, which uses a willish, which is a fish from the nether. We have the colorful, which uses any dyes. We have the clear, which uses a glass. We have the frog that uses a bucket of tadpole. We have the king that uses an iron ingot. The naturalist uses any saplings. Iceborne uses packed ice. Magma Forge uses the magma cream. The slime uses a slime. And the shark tooth uses a jowl, which is a legendary fish from the ocean. And then we have the azure crystal that uses the azure crystal back. May know that we've seen before. We have the bamboo that uses a bamboo. Obsidian uses an obsidian eel, which is a legendary fish from lava lakes on the surface raining, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, surface lava lakes raining. Damn, I know all my fishes by heart. Look at that. We have the alpha, which is from a grass block. The good old smithing template, which is from just a vanilla fishing rod. We have the bone skin, which is from a bone block. The sky skin from a phantom membrane. The lush glowberry skin, which is from a lush spike, which is a legendary fish from the lush caves. And we have the humble skin, which is from a stick. Very good. All the templates are obtained in different ways. Some of them are from fishing in a specific place, like this one here is from fishing in the rivers. But for example, the lush one is from fishing in the lush caves underground with lush bait. Although actually this doesn't matter. I don't think lush bait matters because it's a 1% chance flat. So I need to change that line because that doesn't really make sense. Anyways, then we have all the templates, or all the rod skins. As you can see, you just put the template with the corresponding item and you get the corresponding fishing rod skin. Then you have all the fishes, which we're not going to look at. And that's it. That's every item in the mod. All right, and I believe that is it for Starcatcher. If you are interested in data pack customization for Starcatcher, you can look at the data pack video I have on my YouTube channel that goes over how to add item to Starcatcher, fish item to Starcatcher. There is a lot of different data-driven stuff in Starcatcher. For example, all the modifiers. Hey, look, I got the 1% chance. I think that's everything. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this answered some of your questions. I know it was a really long video, but Starcatcher is a really big mod. There is a lot of things to go over. If you have any questions, feel free to join the Discord and ask me directly, and I'll be happy to help. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.